Okay, Dan Fitzpatrick here, stockmarketmentor.com. And we had one heck of a move by Nvidia today. You probably knew I'd be covering this. Now, we we initially bought this stock. Well, we'd been trading it before, but the most recent one was down here at 506, just kind of waiting for the stock to break out um, from this top here. And so we put on this trade, and you'd have to kind of squint to read these numbers, but it was at 506, and my initial stop was at 489. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to calculate how far the stock had to go in order to give me an appropriate risk reward trade where you, let's say you're risking a dollar. You want to, if you're going to make a dollar, well, that's a stupid trade because you don't have any reward. You've just basically flipped a coin. So if you're going to risk a dollar, $2 is okay, but that ain't that great either. That's a 2R. What you really look for is a 3R trade. You want to be able to see and envision the stock paying you off $3 for every $1 you're risking. At least that's my rule. And I didn't make that up. There's a lot of great traders that have that same type of thing. So that's how I was able to put this thing on when I did. But then this is just something that you just keep holding. I mean, I've been holding it in a long-term account for a long term, and we're still long this stock. But the point is, you get a stock like this, you buy the stock right, and by the time it gets up to this area here, you have quite a cushion. You got a great cushion to just hold the stock, and you're not really, well, I mean, you risk what you risk, but let me put it this way: you risk turning an awesome trade into a pretty good trade if the stock goes against you. But in this case, with Nvidia, this was the most watched stock I've ever heard of, I've ever seen. And everybody's saying that, hey, I know the earnings are going to be awesome. The guidance is probably going to be awesome, but is it going to be enough? So that was the big question. Is it going to be enough to keep existing shareholders in the stock and to actually bring new buyers into the stock? And the answer is yes and yes. Stock gapped up. It barely traded down, just a little bit here during the first 5 minutes. And as Carl Spangler is famous for saying, and that's all she wrote, the stock just barely drifted down, and then boom, the rest of the day, it was up. It was really strong. So from here, I still have $1,000 price target on this. That's something that I talked with Charles Payne about quite a while ago on the show. But I'm looking at it, and I'd said remarkably, it's got to cross 5,000 or 500 first, and it did. And then my next one was, and this is simple math, has to cross 700 before we've got $1,000 in play. Okay, so I have a knack for stating the obvious. So now that it's up here, I'm looking at this being it's run 50% of what my estimation is, which is from 500 to 1,000. So it's up over 50% of that $500 amount. I look at the weekly chart, and I don't really see any signs that this thing's stopping. And I'm not going to, I have more to say about this in our premium strategy session about just believing the trend rather than always predicting that it's going to end because, oh, this is just too good to be true. It may be too good to be true, but it's true right now. And so I would suggest just staying long this stock, have some kind of risk management on it here. And you could just simply look at the intra-week low here, which is 662.48, and maybe put your stop just a little bit below that level, because the only way it's going to come back and hit your stop is if it does something unusual, which is sets a new weekly intraday low, a lower low. And so far, it's just not doing that. So anyway, that's all I got for you. If you haven't tried Stock Market Mentor, why don't you check it out? It's $7. It's the price of what you used to pay in a commission. All right. See you guys over there.